Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So, it finally happened, and in the perfect way. I applaud you. Whoever designed this card at Wizards, incredible. Chef's kiss. The best design I have seen in a long time when it comes to flavor and function, and just, well, it's gonna make players laugh when they get the joke. So, let's jump into it. Shadowfax, Lord of Horses. Yeah, I've been waiting so long to see this one. Again, when you said all these legendary creatures from Lord of the Rings, I might be most excited about the horse. A 4/4 legendary creature horse. Of course it's legendary. That costs 3 red, white. You ready for it? Horses you control have haste. And there's reminder text. They can attack and tap as soon as they come under your control. Let's focus on that real quick because I can't remember the last time I saw haste reminder text. Even if a card just has haste on it, it never has the reminder text. Now, why does it have that? Well, one very, very famous quote from the movie is, "Run, Shadowfax, show us the meaning of haste." And I'm not going to try to do Gandalf's voice, but maybe I will. "Run, Shadowfax, show us the meaning of haste." Terrible. That was more like old British guy. I guess he's an old British guy, but I don't know. Terrible. Anyways, showing you the meaning of haste literally on the card, that is hilarious. Whoever thought that up at Wizards, well done. Thank you so much. You're going to make people laugh for a very, very long time. Every single time they see this card. That is just great. On top of that, though, hey, Shadowfax ain't done yet. Whenever a Shadowfax Lord of Horses attacks, you may put a creature card with lesser power from your hand on the battlefield, tapped and attacking. That is a massive trigger. I mean, that's like Ilharg the Razeboar, except slightly different. Ilharg has no power restriction that I can remember of, but it bounces it back to your hand at the end of the turn, I think, or end of combat. Something like that. Anyways, there's a lot of Magic cards out there. This is somewhat close. Regardless, this already has 4 power, so it's a decent amount. It's not a ton, but it's a decent amount. So essentially, hey, if something's got 3 or less power from your hand, just cheat it right out into play. And there are a lot of creatures out there that actually have a low amount of power, but a high converted mana cost because of a big effect that they might have. And so, well, I'm going to display a lot of those on this episode. On top of that, of course, yeah, there are plenty of ways to pump this to make it so that it can literally get any creature out of your hand into play for free. I'm talking about like the biggest Eldrazi out there or whatnot. Just cheat them right into play. So, or other things too. Blightsteel, I'm sure you can cheat to play as well. Very easily. Again, you just slap on something, you know, like and a piece of equipment to make this like a Voltron commander, and all of a sudden, yeah, you're swinging for like 11 with this, and it's like, yeah, cheating to play basically anything. I mean, it's gonna swing for you more. You know what I mean? Anyways, this is exciting. This is hilarious. I love this card. Thank you for this design. I can't believe it's an uncommon, but I mean, you know what? This uncommon has some uncommon power, and uncommon laughs coming with it as well. Now, on this episode, though, I'm going to be taking you through the budget buys, of course, the cards that are less than $1 cards within my budget, the pricier picks, cards outside of my budget, cards that are more than $1. And, of course, all these cards are going to be in a link in the description below. Again, this is a commander. If you're excited about this one, make sure you check out that link because, well, exciting commanders like this one are spoiled. Sometimes cards that work well with it tend to go up in price. Now, with all that said, let's jump into the budget buys. Starting things off with, well, a pretty obvious one, I think, with Blackblade Reforged. Yeah, again, like I mentioned, slap on a piece of equipment like this Blackblade Reforged, and all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what power the creature is in your hand, well, to a certain extent, then you can just cheat it into play. Again, you can very easily at a certain point even cheat in like a Blightsteel Colossus if you got the budget for that. That's not a budget buy. That thing's like $70, I think, or something like that. Anyways, yeah, +1/+1 for each land you control. Even though you're in Boris, yeah, you don't really have any land ramp except for like Wayfarer's Bauble. I guess you're starting to get a little bit more when it comes to like plane-specific ramp, so that could help as well. Regardless, yeah, this, other equipment, there's plenty of ways to pump your commander to the point where it doesn't matter. And on top of that, this protects your commander in combat and as well, which is huge. Again, you have to swing with your commander to get that effect, so therefore, yeah, you might want to protect it to ensure that you can keep it around. Moving on. Let's talk about a lot of fantastic budget buys, a lot of fantastic creatures that, again, have Like, no power, but it doesn't matter because they've got great effects. Baldin, Century Herdmaster, a 0/7 human warrior for 4 white. As long as it's your turn, each creature assigns its combat damage equal to toughness rather than its power. So you're going to want to make sure that that's okay with you, although after one turn, that's not going to matter. So keep in mind, again, Shadowfax puts these creatures into play, tapped and attacking already. So you probably want to send them into a situation that they can survive. Obviously, with this one, it's got 7 toughness. It can survive a lot of things. On top of that, well, your creatures are going to survive a lot of things and then some, because the next combat, whenever it attacks up to 100 target creatures, each get +0/+X of turn for X the number of cards in your hand. So essentially, hey, again, make sure it survives that first combat. You do not get this attack trigger when it comes into play, tapped and attacking, unfortunately. But again, next combat, swing with it, and your creatures get pumped. Again, let's say you got 5 cards in your hand, +0/+5. But again, that's basically like +5/+5 because your creatures assign combat damage equal to toughness on your turn. So keep that in mind. Moving on, Captain of the Watch. A simple 3/3. But wait, there's more. Vigilance. Soldiers, other soldiers you control get ++1 and vigilance. So again, if you got other soldiers, great. Additional value. Oh, and by the way, you're going to make some soldiers. Enters the battlefield, you get 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens on the battlefield as well. So again, basically 9 total power across 4 bodies with this simple creature coming into play. And obviously in the next turn, it's going to have vigilance as well. Again, you might want to have some kind of anthems in there like Dictate of Heliod, ones that can pump all your creatures or ones that can protect all your creatures in combat, because again, this is going to come into play tapped and attacking. Those soldiers it brings in aren't, but still, just keep that in mind. Next up, Vigil of Heliod, a simple 1/3. Now this one you might not really care if it survives, but it's going to cost 6 mana, but instead you're going to cheat into play again because 1 power. Enters the battlefield, you get a number of 1/1 white soldier creature tokens to your devotion. That can be quite a lot. Yeah, this can be upwards of 10 very easily once you're set up properly. And yeah, enjoy that. And again, with all these ETBs that you might be really taking advantage of, you can also have plenty of ways to, use and abuse these ETBs too. So like Cloud Shift, those kinds of cards that, blink a creature can be very impactful because, first of all, obviously you can use and abuse an ETB with that. So again, for a single white mana, blink this, bring it back at that ETB again. But also, it's going to take it out of combat if you're doing that. So again, if you're worried about this dying in combat, you're swinging with it, right? Again, you're forced to have it tapped and attacking already. Just blink it. Comes back into play. It's not attacking anymore. You get that ETB again. Next up, Lane of Selfless Champion. A way to protect some things. A 3/3 Human Knight enters the battlefield. You get a 1/1 white soldier creature token for each non-token creature you control. That can be a lot. So again, another token generator on ETB. You can get a very, very wide army very, very quickly. Sacrifice Lena. Creatures you control with power less than Lena's power. Each gain indestructible in turn. Again, you can have different ways to, maybe have some anthems to pump, creatures, or maybe, you put Black Blade Forge on this one so that essentially you can protect your entire team. Or again, if you're swinging in combat, it's going to get taken out anyways. You might as well save some other creatures with it. Moving on, Goring Ceratops. Today, another one that, again, isn't that great on the first attack when this comes down, but if this sticks and this stays, yeah, the next one's going to be even better. A 3/3 double striking dinosaur. So again, it does have some protection a little bit, with that kind of first strike damage coming through. It's got to hit for 6 to start off with. Again, other anthems and stuff will really help it. On top of that, whenever it attacks, other creatures you control gain double strike until end turn. Again, you're not getting that right away, unfortunately. That being said, on your next turn, or again, I should say your next combat, because of course there are ways to, well, maybe get some extra combats we'll talk about here in a bit. Yeah, you can just get double strike for all your creatures. That's going to have them hit for a ton. And again, protect your commander, protect other things as well. Good luck to your opponents, especially good luck with Inferno Project. This thing is fun. A 0/0 with trample. So yeah, this has 0 power. Oh, but wait, it enters the battlefield with X counters on it, where X is the total mana value of instant source cards in your graveyard. Mana value, not number, mana value. So again, if you've got like 5 instant sorcerers in your graveyard in total, and their total mana value is like 20, which is pretty easy to get to, hey, it's coming into play as a 20/20 trampler that you just cheat into play with your horse. Lovely. Moving on, Meteor Golem. This one is just simple. Hey, great ETB, great removal. 3/3 for 7. Again, decent mana cost. UC's playing a good amount of decks out there, though, for good reason. And yeah, with this one, hey, 3 power is a great thing. We can cheat to play with our commander. Enters the battlefield to destroy target non-land permanent opponent controls. Again, you can really take advantage of this with other blink effects, maybe repeatable blink effects as well, like Conjurer's Closet, etc., etc., etc. A lot of good things you can do with this. And then finally with these creatures, Bedlam Reveler. How about this one? This one actually wasn't budget for a long time. Now it finally is a really good card. 3/4 Devil that says this spell costs 1 to cast for each instant sorcery card in your graveyard. So again, like our Inferno Project, really cares about your instant sorceries. And then on top of that, it's got Prowess. So whenever it casts a non-creature spell, it's going to get +1/+1. So you can pump this So in combat, maybe your opponent's like, oh, they've got mana open. Maybe they cast some spells in. I don't want to block it. On top of that, when it enters the battlefield, discard your hand and draw 3 cards. So if you are low on cards, again, instead of paying 8 mana or, you know, having it reduce cost, if you don't have many instant sources in your graveyard, just cheat and play with your commander. There you go. And then, yeah, how about when it comes to actually cheating things into play, we can also use their ETBs to really, really help our army. Hero of Gomafada is a 4/3 Humanite ally. When it enters the battlefield, or another ally enters the battlefield under control, creatures control get indestructible until end of turn. So this is just a great kind of like, hey, ETB, save my team. Now, you might notice that this does have 4 power, and this is why I'm bringing it up in a somewhat separate little section-ish. Basically, hey, yeah, Shadowfax can't cheat this into play inherently, but again, there are plenty of ways to pump your commander. Again, Blackblader Forge, any kind of anthems, +1 counters, however you need to do it, pump your commander, get its power up to an amount where it can, it very easily do this. Again, just 1 extra power would do it to be able to get this into play. So make sure you do that. And again, this is a great way to say, oh, it entered the battlefield, it's going to save my team. My entire army is indestructible, including my commander, including this. So guess what? My team is safe to swing. And also keep in mind, again, obviously, like I mentioned before, a simple cloud shift, a simple blink effect with this is just, hey, protect my entire team on ETB. Very easy to use and abuse for you. Or, a more specific way like Aegis Angel, 5/5 flyer. And again, 5 power. You need Shadowfax to have slightly more power to get to this. Again, just +2 power though. Enters the battlefield. Another target permanent you control gains indestructible out of turn for as long as you control Aegis Angel. Protect a key piece that you have. Maybe that's your commander. And again, hey, this is a flyer. You can usually get through on at least 1 opponent, which is great. And again, with Shadowfax is going to be protected as long as this is in play. So Shadowfax is going to be fine turn after turn after turn. And then I think this is the last budget buy. There we go, that I'm bringing up. And that's going to be not Response, but Resurgence. Resurgence says creatures you control gain first strike and vigilance on a turn. After this main phase, additional combat phase, followed by additional main phase. Basically, you get an extra combat, which is massive. And vigilance and first strike are very nice as well. But yeah, extra combat. There aren't too many extra combat effects in, budget, essentially, because, well, Ishin came in and was like, hey, everyone play me, and then everyone buy all the extra combat spells, and that's kind of how that went, exactly. So yeah, Resurgence, a great card, though, for Boros decks. Make sure you're utilizing something like this. Again, the more times you attack, the more attack triggers you're getting from, well, all your things that have attack triggers, including your amazing commander, and the more pain you're dealing out with your team. Moving on, though, let's move on to the pricier picks. Again, cards that are unfortunately outside of my budget, but might be within yours. Cards that are more than $1. First up, let's start off with Crested Sunmare. Yeah, I should probably mention that Horse Tribal is definitely a way that you can go with this commander. I personally would probably just rather use like a power kind of tribal, essentially. Again, using a good amount of creatures that have 3 or less power, and then also having pump effects so I can use bigger creatures too. That being said, if you are going Horse Tribal, or even if you aren't, Crested Sunmare can be a great card for this deck. Other horses you control have indestructible. That's just a way to protect your commander, a great way to protect your commander. And on top of that, if you've got any kind of life gain in here, and yeah, there's plenty of cards out there that have great life linking effects or whatnot, or you're in white, you've got ways to give your team life link too. I mean, what's that one? True Conviction, double strike life link for your entire team. Yeah. Anyways, at the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, you get a 5/5 white horse creature token. Again, that's each end step, not just your own, and those are going to be indestructible horses, and they all have haste, so I guess the haste doesn't matter because it's the end step, but still, regardless, keep that in mind if you are going Horse Tribal, or even if you're like, yeah, I've got some life gain effects in here too, I can utilize this. Moving on, Rally the War Leader. 3 power, there you go, there's the magic number, right? 3 power, so you can choose this into play without any pump effects for your commander. 3/4, Flying Vigilance Haste. When it attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control. After this main phase, after this phase, there's additional combat phase. Aurelia is incredible. Aurelia is insane. Aurelia does not work the first turn that you get it down with Shadowfax, because again, hey, it enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. You do not get that attack trigger. That being said, on the next turn, yeah, you get 2 combats. You're getting 2 triggers from your commander and any other attack triggers as well. Gross. Next up, Daring King of Keldor. This one also has 3 power. Again, keep that in mind. Hey, just cheating into play for 3 power, nice. It's only a 3/3. Now, this one you especially need to protect in combat, though, because you don't want to just throw this out there and be like, okay, Darian, go get him. Oh, you're gone. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Oh, no. You need a way to protect this one, especially. But it says, whenever you dealt damage, you may create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. A great either deterrent for your opponents not to attack you, because if they do, well, you're going to be gaining a lot of soldiers to swing back at them. And if they do attack you, yeah, you're going to have a giant army in no time. And they're going to be regretting that because, again, you've got all these other anthem effects, you got all these pump effects, you got all these other extra combat effects. Yeah, they're going to learn their lesson quite quickly. So, yeah, Darien is a great either attack deterrent or a punishing effect for your opponents. You can really punish your opponents, though, with Godo. Godo is also a 3-power. Human Barbarian enters the battlefield, search for library for an equipment card upon the battlefield. If you do, shuffle your library. When Godo attacks the first time you turn, untap, and all samurai you control this combat phase. There's an additional combat phase. Basically, hey, yeah, again, you're going to be cheating Godo in. You got to protect it because, again, there's no really protection for it. That being said, the ETB goes and gets an equipment, which is fantastic because you can set yourself up again, maybe with a Black Blade Forge for your commander, maybe with Helm of the Host if you want to go infinite with Godo. Yeah, some gross things can happen. That being said, again, the next turn, there is this kind of additional combat, but it's just for Samurai. So, yeah, or untap and all Samurai. But again, if you got Vigilance for your creatures, that can help out as well. Moving on, Iroas, God of Victory. This is something huge. And again, I'm starting to get into those creatures that have more than 4 power, or 3 power, I should say. But again, there are plenty of ways to pump your commander to ensure that you can cheat these into play. Iroas is a great one. 7-4 Indestructible God. It basically can be a creature if you've got 7 Devotion in red and white. Creatures you control can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, so Menace. And prevent all damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control. Lovely. So basically, hey, this makes your creatures deadlier in combat, harder to block, and this is also indestructible as well, hard to take out, and it makes your creatures very hard to take out as well. Again, it protects your creatures in combat while you're attacking. So again, Shadowfax can swing freely and be fine. Your other creatures that you're cheating into play that are tapped in attacking are fine as well. This is a huge card for this deck, and again, yeah, $15, but if you got the budget for it, probably a good card to include for this commander. Moving on, Archangel Avacyn. Say another good, ETB. Hey, help your team out immediately. Again, 4 power, slightly more, unfortunately, than, your commander's power, or than what you need. Anyways, your commanders get +1 power, and then you're fine. 4-4 Flash, Flying Vigilance, enters the battlefield. Creature control get indestructible out of turn. So essentially, hey, protect your entire team right away again on ETB. That can be absolutely huge. And then when this does, whenever a non-angel creature you control dies, you transform this begin the next upkeep. It flips over a 6/5 flyer, transforms into Avacyn Purifier, deals 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. Again, it depends on the deck that you're running if you want to utilize this or not, because, hey, if one of your creatures gets taken out that isn't an angel and it wipes out some other creatures that you like, that's bad. But obviously a lot of creatures I brought up on this either have more toughness, or maybe you got some anthem effects to help them out. Maybe this is just kind of like a mini board wipe that can deal with your opponent's things, but keep yours around. Again, just consider it. Next up, Port Razor. Again, extra combats. Did I mention that they're good? Port Razor is a 4-4. Deals combat damage to a player. Untap each creature you control. There's combat phase, virtual combat phase. Port Razor can't attack a player. It has already attacked this turn. Hey, if this gets thrown at multiple opponents, they're in big trouble. You are getting combat after combat after combat. Yeah, have a way to protect it. Have a way to get it through. And then when there's Morog, Fury of Akum. Yeah, again, you are in Boros, you don't have access to a ton of land ramp, right? Wayfarer's Bauble, we all know it's one of the best cards ever made, right? But also, even just Evolving Wilds can work incredibly well with this. Each creature you control gets +1/+0 for each time attack this turn. That could be a lot. On top of that, whenever your land enters the battlefield under your control, it's your main phase, it's your combat phase. After this phase, at the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. Basically, hey, get lands into play, get extra combats. And yeah, the more combats you have, the more creatures are attacking from, and the more that your creatures are attacking for, again, the bigger creatures you can cheat out with your commander. So yeah, this is huge. Again, 6 power, so you need a little bit more from your commander to actually cheat this out, but still. And speaking of a lot of power, Avacyn Angel of Hope, yeah, 8 power, but worth it to cheat out. Again, you just slap on a Black Blade Reforged, and your commander is probably already there, right? So essentially, hey, swing with your commander, cheat this into play. Don't worry about things for a while. This is an 8/8 flying indestructible angel that also happens to say other permanents you control of indestructible. So good luck to your opponents taking out your creatures, even in combat, anywhere. Yeah, there's ways that they can still do the creatures. They can bounce them, they can exile, but still, okay, you know what? It's hard to take those creatures out, all right? Or any of your permanents, essentially. So yeah, this is a great thing to cheat into play. Again, there's some massive things you cheat into play. Bladesteel Colossus, if you really want to, go for it. Next up, though, yeah, just one more note. Ishin, thanks a lot for making all the extra combats really expensive. But yeah, you've got access to a lot of them in the price your picks, obviously. Even Relentless Assault can do a ton of work for you. Again, 4 mana, get an extra combat. That's basically, hey, an investment to just swing again with your team. Dish out more damage, get any of those, attack triggers you might have, including your commanders, which of course is like cheating a creature into play. So you're probably cheating mana essentially with this. Again, 4 mana, extra combat, cheat something that maybe has 8 cost into play for free. So yeah, Shadowfax, I think many players out there are going to be really excited to see. Again, it is hilarious. It is really funny. I absolutely love that haste reminder text. It is just perfect. Absolutely perfect. And there's a lot of exciting things you can do with this. You can go horse tribal if you want. You can just go, you know, power tribal in a way, like 3 or less, but like some more as well. And then a good amount of pump effects too. You can just go all big things and a lot of pump effects and kind of be dependent on, you know, making your commander absolutely massive. You can do whatever you want with this commander. It's absolutely hilarious and fun. So yeah, I think a lot of players out there are going to be really excited about it. If you're one of those players, check out that list in the description below. And of course, as always, well, stay tuned to this channel for more exciting quick takes and spoilers. And thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.